The Invincible Red Sonja, issue number 4 from Dynamite Comics. So I've reviewed all the other issues so far, and this series has been really, really good. So I guess it's trying to catch up to what's been going on for anyone who hasn't been reading this comics or watched any of my previous videos on this series. Red Sonja has been hired by Princess Zarya to basically protect her and be her bodyguard as she is about to get married to this prince, the Prince of Erkhara. And recently there have been assassination attempts on her life. In the last issue, the crown of the kingdom has been stolen. And the crown is like a really big deal, like what it represents and all that stuff. So Red Sonja has tracked down who the thief is, and that's where we start off. So in the last issue, she comes across this guy summoning a bunch of like magma golems, and she sees a man wearing a red mask and discovers that he is the thief of the crowns. And yeah, that's where we start off. As the guy is making a deal with these magma golems, basically, I command you to slay the king of Erkhara. So Sonja sees this. She has a buddy named Tuma. Tuma is along for the ride. And she basically tells Tuma, like, I need you to warn the king to keep an eye out. Go ahead and take care of these abominations. I'm going to take out the guy with the mask. And so she confronts the mask man. And we get a super brief fight scene. Basically, he's bragging about all the years he's trained in the art of combat. They rush at each other, and then his head falls off. So it's very much like that scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the dude's doing all the crazy tricks, and then he needed to shoot them. That's pretty much this, where he's spinning his blades and bragging about his training and all that stuff, and then Sonja just swings her sword and lops his head off, and there you go. And so she puts the head in the bag, and she doesn't look to see who the masked man is first. She just quickly puts the head in the bag and leaves. And I was like, okay, I think I know where this is going. I think it's gonna end up being like someone high up, like maybe like the prince himself or somebody, and then Sonja is gonna be charged with murdering someone in the court or in the high up on the kingdom, and now she's gonna have to fight her way out. Nope, I was completely wrong about that. I'll get to what actually happens in just a moment. So yeah, she meets up with Tuma and they ride back to the castle. So it reminded me of this story that I just read recently. So lately I've been reading a lot about like medieval stuff and Vikings and ancient battles and ancient warriors and all that stuff. I don't know, like things like that always kind of interested me. And there's a story, I believe that his name was Sigurd, and Sigurd was a Viking warrior, I believe, and he was on the battlefield and he was fighting his rival Mao, and it was this huge battle between Sigurd and his army and Mao and his army, and Sigurd won, and he had his soldiers chop off the head of all of Mao's soldiers and carry them as trophies. And so, of course, Sigurd carried the head of Mao, and he strapped the severed head to his saddle and rode back home. And on the way home, the teeth of Mao cut into the leg of Sigurd, and it became infected, and Sigurd later died of his wounds. So even though he killed his rival on the battlefield, his rival ended up killing him in turn after death, when his decapitated head accidentally bit into his opponent's leg. I just thought that was a really cool, interesting story. I don't know why I'm bringing that up. I just thought I would share it because seeing Sonja riding with the head in her saddle just kind of reminded me of that. And I just thought, maybe I'll give you guys just a little history trivia. But yeah, back to the comic. But anyways, yeah, so they return to the castle. They discover that the king has his crown back somehow. And Sonja's like, well, I whatever, you got the crown back, but here you go. Here's the head of the thief. And she throws it down. And the king's right-hand man, the king's sorcerer, the king's, confidant, opens up the bag and realizes that it's the head of his son. And so this confidant, his name is Lord Brelock. Lord Brelock gets pissed off. Like he's obsessed. Like, how dare you kill my son? And he unleashes his magical powers and he kills the king. So the king is dead. the guards start charging at him, but he uses his magic to incinerate them. And Sonya's like, take the prince and the princess and leave. I'll try to fight him off. But he uses his powers to summon the Magnum golems. And Sonja starts fighting them for a moment. But then the golems see the king and realize he's dead. And he's like, oh, well, I guess we have no purpose here then. Because we were only commanded to kill the king. But the king is dead, so our job is done. So they leave. And Red Sonja goes to finish off the Sorcerer Lord, Brelock, when he uses his magic powers. And we have this highly sexual looking scene here. I know she's supposed to be like screaming in pain, but it looks very orgasmic. Yeah. So eventually she gets overpowered with magic, and Lord Brelock summons a spell to teleport them away. And then Sonja wakes up in darkness and she's completely naked. And she gets confronted by a dragon, but she sees visions. And then all of a sudden, the army of darkness basically shows up. It's just like an army of skeletons, and Sonja has to fight them naked. And I'm like, all right, we got a lot of nakedness in this series. If you guys want to read a series where Red Sonja gets naked a lot, check out this series, because she gets naked in like every issue. Not that I'm complaining. I mean, I'm not complaining at all. If Red Sonja wants to get naked, then, more power to you, girl. So, yeah. So, Red Sonja takes on the army of darkness butt naked. And then she gets overpowered. And there's basically a bit more, but I don't want to spoil it. But pretty much, you find out what the title, The Invincible Red Sonja. So, you find out where the Invincible part comes in. And let's just say that Red Sonja is in a very huge bind. Things are not looking good for her. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, with that said, this was a good issue. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And yeah, this series has been really awesome so far. It's funny, I mentioned this before, but I completely wrote it off at first because I didn't jump into it until after the second issue came out, because I saw the first issue on the stands, and I didn't even skim through it. I just like opened up like the first couple of pages, and then I saw the artwork, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be like one of those stories. It's gonna be basically, this is gonna be like, this issue is gonna do to Sonja what the unbeatable Squirrel Girl did to Squirrel Girl. It's gonna be like one of those, like, series that doesn't take itself serious and just But nope, I was completely wrong. This is Red Sonja as Red Sonja. There's gore, there's blood, there's nudity, there's not really sex, but there's a lot of nudity. And yeah, it's awesome so far. Like, I love this series. It's been a really good run. So yeah, I highly recommend this. What would I rank this issue? Oh man, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It was maybe a 6.5 out of 6.5, 7 out of 10, somewhere between that. It was a good to great issue. Nothing amazing or anything like that, but it was a really good issue. Like, I really did enjoy it, and I've been enjoying the run so far. So yeah, definitely go check it out. But there you go, Invincible Red Sonja. She kills the thief, gets overpowered by magic, and then fights the army of darkness butt naked. There you go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any recommendations, let me know. But yeah, hope to see you next time. Take care, everybody. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.